never been to Israel before. I was really interested. Well, I really liked this program because it was about seeing Israel from an insider's perspective instead of something like Birthright where you kind of tour. This really, you go to school with these Israelis in Haifa and you really get to investigate a question and learn so much more about Israel.
Everyone in Israel knows, like, people know English.
Yeah.
It's just a matter if they speak it or if they don't. And my host and his family were fluent in English. They were, like, we all talked in English all the time. But for me, when Shaked, my host, had his friends over, it was hard because, like, they spoke Hebrew and they normally speak Hebrew, and for them to speak English so I could understand what they're talking about, it's not fair, and, like, they don't have to. And I felt weird when Shaked would translate everything they would talk about, because he shouldn't have to, but, like, since he's hosting me, it's nice that he did. And so, I mean, not knowing any Hebrew in social situations was a bit hard for me because I felt awkward and quiet, but as time went on and they got to know me and I got to know them, it became less of an issue.
My project was about preparing for the Army and what it's like to graduate from high school and go right into the Army. Students in America, obviously, for the most part, go on to college, and it must be pretty challenging to think about, you know, spending the next 2 to 3 years or possibly more in a dangerous place, in a scary spot.
It was about what it's like to be Jewish in Israel, and I wanted to try to get as many perspectives as I could, and I focused on that because in a class last year, we read an article by A.B. Yehoshua about how Jewish life is fuller in Israel, and that just didn't seem right to me, so I wanted to see if that was true. Yeah, I've learned that, well, I just thought that it would be kind of, I knew that it would be different, but I thought it would be similar to how I thought of Judaism, maybe just in a different way, but I realized that it's so much more complex than I imagined. There's so many, like, different kinds of Jews in Israel, and I didn't imagine that would be the case.
There's a lot less there than I thought. They basically just kind of go. I thought there was this whole, like, you know, they say goodbye to everyone, and they do, like, months and months of physical training, and they take special classes, but it wasn't nearly as much of that as I thought there would be. Some of them take classes that end up being pertinent to their position in the Army. For example, Yuval was taking Arabic classes to do intelligence, but they really just kind of, they find out where they're going and they go. It's much less of a, like, wow, good for you. It's much more normal.
I think I'm very lucky because I got to experience such a wonderful experience, and being on the pilot, we got to do a lot of things, like go to an Air Force base and just so many things that I think future groups will not get a chance to do because the teacher probably won't have the same connections as Ayala Ganani did. But being on the pilot was something I don't think anyone will forget, and I think the three of us did a great job representing Gann, and it was very important for us to participate on this program, so next year and following years it will happen again.